Okay, hello to everyone. I hope that you all are on. I'm sorry about that delay that we had there just a while ago. Don't know what's happening. I know that they had some updates doing, and we're trying to get that update organized. All right, so I hope that we live and alive. And let me just ask you now to share the live and ask people to join us. I hope that those of you who were logged on before would still be on so that we can continue and have our discussion going. All right, we're looking for that. Yes, so we are on now when we're on Facebook. We are not on the YouTube, unfortunately. So join us there on this one in the mic at night. We are about to start. Yes. All right. How's everybody doing? I really apologize for this. I know that the system had an update today. I did not recognize, even though we did our test, I did not recognize that the system um, had its own bugs that it now updated and brought on to follow us. Okay, so nevertheless, we're going to make do with what we have. It is about 2 weeks now that we're going with the same excuse over and over. I don't like it, but technology, we don't have control over that. So we'll make do with what we have. We're going to give some time for people to join us back. So please bear with us as we try to link back everyone as they come on board. Right? So we're talking about 9 things that people say regularly that makes the relationship so very special. All right, we apologize to the YouTube people. Yes. So send up some hearts if you are on so that we could know. All right. Let me see who's on. All right, Kenneth Hodge, I hope you're on. I know you were trying to call me a little while. And let me just say that we have a program coming up. Let me just tell you about that program. It's a parenting program. We usually do a parenting program, and this parenting program is now going into its next cycle. I think it is 3rd cycle that we're going into, and we are looking forward for you to be part of it. If you are a parent, or if you are an expectant parent, if you plan to be a parent at all, we want you to be part of it and to join in on this program. It is going to really help you as we go through to help people to become better individuals and parents in this blessed world that we have. All right. So we're looking forward for that. This is the parenting program that we have coming up in very soon. All right. Let me see. Let me make sure that we have people on. Yes, good evening, Candice. Thank you very much for joining us back. So share the live as people come on. Thank you very much for joining us back, Lawrence. We had a little technical difficulty, so thanks for being with us. Okay, so let's get going because we already lost a few minutes already. We're talking about 9 things that it is said that good husbands and wives, couples say to each other to boost their self-confidence. So let me start off by saying that words carry energy, and they are either battery charging words or battery draining words. When you are finished speaking with somebody, you'll either charge them up or you'll empty them. And so whenever we speak, we need to speak keeping that in mind. Now, unhealthy couples, couples that don't have healthy relationships, usually use quite a bit of battery draining words. Those who are healthy, those who have good relationships, try to encourage as much as possible, even though there are times that you are forced or you feel necessary to say some things very sternly. It is also part of the course, but that should not happen as an order of the day. Some people quarrel all day. Some people quarrel for weeks. Some people just keep arguing with each other. So we're not talking about that because that's not a healthy relationship. We're talking about the one-on, one-off time that, things may not be going too well, that you say certain things harsh. But generally, we say nice things. A word must be fitly spoken so that it would be as apple and of gold, and you have it as they are silver, the two best, highest level of value, gold and silver. All right, so let's start. And you tell me whether these words pass in your relationship often. Number one, I trust your judgment. I trust your judgment. This is whenever both people have a disagree, they don't see eye to eye on a particular position. But you'll find that there's going to be a time that you'll have to say, in this particular matter, I'm going to leave it up to you. I don't hold the opinion, or I don't have an opinion, but I will leave it up to you. Why? Because I trust your judgment. Yes, Hodge, this is a live feed. It is. Thank you for joining us, Hodge. So that tells you it's live, because I could be able to point you out that you asked if it is a live feed. Yes? What that does, it tells your spouse that you are invested in their wisdom. So, and it's always good sometimes to just back off on a position that you want and just let the other person have their way. There are sometimes in relationships, the only person who has a say is the one person who always mean that their say must always go through. But it is a nice thing, and the healthy couples usually ensure that the other person has the ability to be able to hand over the judgment to the other person. All right? So do you hear that? And the question is, do you say it? Do you say it to your spouse? Does your spouse say it to you? Do they give you the impression that they trust your judgment? On other cases, there are some people that demonstrate that they don't trust their spouse's judgment at all. Okay? So that's number one. If you have not started saying that, start. There are things that you really don't need to have a say in, and just let the person make the decision. Sometimes it might be in spending money on a particular, to purchase something in particular. I trust your judgment. You go ahead. Or it might be to go somewhere and you're deciding whether you should go to the beach, whether you should go by the in-laws, whether you should go for a drive. I'm with you, whatever it is you say. Or it should be where we're going to eat, what we will eat. I trust your judgment. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me today what we eat, but whatever it is you decide that you want us to eat, where it is we're going to eat, I trust your judgment. Isn't that a nice thing? Isn't that a nice feeling when your spouse could say that they trust your judgment? So start practicing it. Number two, whenever somebody does something and you're in a relationship, they must be doing something that is good. They must be good at something. You could not have chosen somebody who's bad at everything. So I'm sure that they are good at something. And what you need to say is the second thing now that we're going to come to. You can afford to say to your spouse, you're good at, and see what it is. If the person is good at baking, if the person is good with the way they make something, a particular food, If the man is good at making carpentry, if he's good at driving, whatever it is, you know, you're really good at this. Pick out the things that are good in a person and make a big deal out of it. What we do, we make big deals about what the person is not good at. Just make good deals with things that they are good at and be so pleased to say. Now, they might be good at quelling an argument. They might be good at causing somebody to move from anger to laughter. Whatever it is, tell them you're good at. They might be good at dressing. Ah, you dress nice. You're good at that, you know how to blend colors and you know how to stand out. Yeah, say that. There must be something. You cannot tell me that the person is so badly off that you cannot think of something. All right? Okay. John Benjamin, all of you can come in. Cheryl Harley Quinn, you all can come in. Joanne, Grenade, St. Lucia, thank you very much for joining us. Yes, you can come in, people. We had an update on the technical system, and apparently that update threw everything off. I should have known better than to allow them to update automatically before we went live. Because last week we had an issue, I believe it was. And I did not want to have a second one this week. But be that as it may. So the two things so far, so we'll forgive those people joining us late also. Number one, I trust your judgment. Number two, you are good at, and say what they're good at. When last have you said that to your spouse? When last have you said that? If you are there, just hit me up and let me know. All right? So compliments are powerful, my people. They sort of bring you closer to the person. And what some spouses miss is those compliments to make them feel validated and feel as though they are valued and as though that you appreciate them. Now, I hear people say, I don't need validation. We all need a certain amount of validation. Trust me. We don't need to be pampered, but we need a certain amount of validation that the person that we are with values certain things in us. So make it a big deal to praise somebody. You're so amazing. You see, you're good at jokes. Well, assuming that they are good at jokes. If they're not good at jokes, please don't do it. If they're not good at jokes, don't tell them. If they cannot sing, don't tell them they could sing. Find something else that you want to praise them for that they are good at. You don't have to tell them you cannot sing. Some people think, I am so upfront that I need to be frank with people. You cannot sing. No, you don't need to tell them that they cannot sing. Just find something else that they are good at and say that. We love to say the things that are negative, but there's a paucity when it comes to things that are good. You have a knack for, and you tell them. You know, one of the things I recognize is that you could solve problems. You are very good at that. You know, I'm surprised how calm you stay whenever you are vexed. I'm surprised at the way how you reacted to that person, because I don't know if I have that kind of strength and that kind of self-control, but you are good at it. You all hear me? Nice. So, number 3, I'm proud of you. Now, you might say that this is the same thing as when you said you're good at and you trust the judgment and so on. No, those are different things. Proud of you says something that is different from you're good at. Good at means that I'm rating you for some skill that you have or something that you do good. I'm proud of you says something about me from a soft part of self, of how I feel towards you. You understand? One is something of a tangible thing that you are good at. You are good at making a cake. You are good at making sorrel. You are good at making soup. You are good at fixing cars. You are good at when you plant garden. Those are tangible things that you could hold on to. But the soft component, I'm proud of you. Because that says it's a hard thing. It is something that says that how I feel towards you. So, and that is very sentimental and touching, the soft part of exposing how I feel towards you. Sometimes we need to say that to our children, but also our spouses need to hear that. Your husband need to hear that. Many times we only think that we need to be able to say that to women because the women need to hear that and so on. And that is good. So for us to say it to the wives, but it's good for the wives to say it to their husband. I am so proud of you because look at how you have what you have achieved or whatever it is. I'm proud of you. So let's make that a regular discussion among us. Okay? Let me see how things going with you all online. Candice, my husband recently complimented me on how much he appreciates how tidy I keep the house. Hey, I know you must be like a bite up shilling. Yes, it does something to you when the person recognizes and take the time off to say, well, they're supposed to know. They're supposed to be, that is what they're supposed to do anyway. So why I must tell them? They're not a child. Yes, say it. Say it. All right. And Candice said, I praise him for his discipline. I had to do a change in his diet, and I really appreciated that he cooperates fully. All right. There you go. There you go. Joseanne said, compliments are like salve. They soothe your inner being. Of course, yes. It's like this soothing thing from a painful experience and so on. Chef, well, you recognize I couldn't take the call, Chef, but I'm happy that you worked it out and you came on board. Chef said we spend too much time finding fault. Of course, that happens so much between couples. Fault, 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 fault. Yes? Glendalin, rock and come in. All right? So if you have not shared the live as yet, please do so because we want to make sure that you are part of the session and your friends are also part of it. Thank you for those who send up all of those hearts and those good responses. I appreciate that so much. For those who just joined us, we are talking about 9 things that couples who have a healthy, happy relationship say to each other regularly. I do not know, and I have been counseling for over 20-something years. I think when I counted it out, it was 35 years that I'm now doing counseling, marriages, etc. 35 years. And this is what I do know. I have never met couples who berate, curse, quarrel on a daily basis or a regular basis. I have never met them happy and say, boy, I just love when my husband curses me. I feel so good. I've never heard a man say, boy, when my wife tells me how badly off I am and how she hates me and so on, I feel refreshed to go to work. Nobody says that. But I've met couples who, when they talk and they always compliment each other and say the tender things to each other, I've met them in a calm space and a happy relationship. You must try. Hey, people, you must try. So, for the latecomers, and that is only because I started late, I will be nice to you all. Number 1, happy, stable couples say regularly, I trust your judgment. They don't have to make a decision on everything else. The woman will tell the man, I trust your judgment in buying that land. The man will tell the woman, I trust your judgment in the use of of spending the money on this particular thing. He trusts her, and he says that. 2, people who are in those good relationships usually say, you're so good at, and they will tell you what they really feel that you are good at. They know how to identify your strong suits, your strong points, and they are not afraid to call them out. You see, the time we take to call out a person's weak suit, bad suit, we can use it to call out their strong suit. Thirdly, I'm proud of you. It says something from an emotional, tender, sensitive part of us to tell somebody you're proud of you. Every child loves to hear that. And every couple loves to hear the other person say, I'm proud of you. When that person has done something, experienced something, and you see them excelling it, say, I'm proud of you. Now, let me also say this and hasten to say it. sometimes somebody does something and it did not come out so well. They might have given a speech and the speech did not come out well. They might have run in a race. Let's say you have a family race, you might have run in something and you did not come first. Saying you're proud of them is not always when they win. You are proud anyway. The fact that they took the risk, the fact that they did it, the fact that they went in, the fact that they went in and they made an effort. Be proud of them. You see? So let's be proud of each other as much as possible. All right? Nicely. Right. Compliments, trust. Right. Thank you very much, Josanne, for recording it. Appreciate it. So let's go now to number 4. This one is also a tender piece that we need to be concerned about. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Well, those of us who are Christian don't believe in luck. We believe in being blessed. So we say, I'm so blessed to have you in my life. I would have missed out so much if you weren't in my life. That builds confidence. And that builds a mindset that I'm appreciated and that your spouse feels and reinforces the importance that they have in your life. You know, there are so many people in relationships feeling in their relationships as though their spouse do not value them, don't rate them, don't appreciate what they do. And yes, sometimes these people are doing so much to make our lives worthy, but we don't take time off to say it to the people around us. So we need to be able to say, I'm so lucky to have you. Girl, I don't know, I nearly married somebody else, boy, and I'm so happy I married you. Say that. Yes? And say that to your husband. There were so many other men I could have married. And wow, I am so blessed to have married you. Isn't God good? Wouldn't you like to hear that? Some of you out there would die to hear somebody say something like that, because a lot of people would tell you that they don't hear those kind words. Let's start making it normal. I'm blessed to have you. So let's go with the next one now. This one, women love to hear. Because not all the time, I will tell you why I say so. But they love to hear this. Because when you have a man who always thinks that he has all the answers and always wants to make the decision, and she doesn't feel heard, she feels as though her opinion does not count. But here's what a good man says. What do you think? He will give his idea and ask her for her opinion. So asking for your spouse's opinion says, I value it to put it onto my decision making, to put it onto what I'm processing. And what you are saying is going to be important. It is out of this that sometimes you turn around and tell your spouse, after having heard their opinion, tell them, okay, I trust your judgment. I'll go with what you suggested. You see how it fits in? Yes. And after that they have done it and the experience came out to be positive and you're able to gain some, whatever it is, it was a good decision that they made and so on, you can now say, I'm proud of you. You are good at this, you know. You hear how all of them that can now kick in? We have so many opportunities to use these words. We don't use them in many cases, but I'm hoping that from tonight, we're going to start using it. And if you're next to your husband, you could turn to your husband and tell him something nice out of one of these things here or more. Right? So, what do you think is a good thing to ask? Now, I'll tell you why I've said that sometimes it doesn't go well with some women. Because let's say it is her birthday, or it's anniversary, or whatever it is. I think that sometimes a woman would like you to come up with an idea instead of asking her what she wants. So what do you want for your birthday? Or what do you think we should do. I think they want us to take some initiative. All the ladies out there, tell me if I'm on point. I don't want to talk for the ladies, but I seem to get that from my experiences, that sometimes they think you should know what I would want, or come up with something so that I could know that it came from you, from your heart, you're thoughtful about it. So they tell me, tell me if that is right. So not all the times that what do you think works. You need to be able to use your initiative and use your thought to be able to deal with that. All right? Let me know. Let me know. Post it on the chat. Charmin boys, welcome. Walk and come in. Oh yes, tell him hello. I've been meaning to join him. I did not. I saw one of his login. I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, but I could not do it at that one, and I never saw it again. I don't know if it's the same login. To see if I could sort of store away on his class for a few minutes before coming on board here. All right. Candice says she agrees with what we said about the birthday plan. All right. Cheryl Harlequin says, yes, she agrees. Take the initiative. Come up with something, surprise them. And so this is why it is important for us to know our spouse. And if we know our spouse, we'll know they like this. They like to eat this. They like to wear this. They like to go this place. Or they like this experience. And it is important for us to know. The Bible says, deal with them according to knowledge. We must know. And a lot of people just don't know who they're married to, who they're in a relationship with. They don't know how to please the person, because we have not gotten to the point where we have unearthed each other to be able to know what's going down. Okay? Nicely. So we could move on here now. Next one. Besides, what do you think? Is they said that when you acknowledge a spouse that they dealt in a situation that highlights strength and determination, etc., you handle that well. You handle that well. So if your wife is in a situation of conflict and you saw how she handled the conflict with finesse and calmness, and she brought the temperature down, you can afford to say you handle that well. When your husband meets up on something, he's normally hot-tempered and so on, but he meets up on a situation that he did not fly off the top, you handle that well. When they deal with the children, and instead of beating and punishing the child, the parent took time off to listen to the child, sat down with the child and discussed and pointed out to the child where the child may have gone wrong and used it as a teachable moment. The other spouse who saw that can afford to say, yeah, you handle that well. Don't miss that opportunity. Catch your spouse doing something right and put them on blast. Let them know that, and let other people know it. You know what my husband did? This is what happened with the children. And this is how that child messed up, and this is how my husband handled it. This is how my wife handled it. This is what my wife said. You handle that well. You see? So, whatever it is, if it is tricky conversations, there are sometimes that people will say some things to you, to anger you. They will say some things to push your buttons, the insulting things, and you manage that well. It's nice to hear your spouse say you handle that well, and not say, that's how you let your man talk to you, that's how you think, and they now rattle you up to change your perspective. You handle that well. Okay? Let me see what's going on online there. Welcome, Lenora Moses. Yes, spouse should come up with ideas to celebrate. I agree with that. I agree with that. There are some relationships, every event, well, it's most times, in my view, I might be wrong, is a woman who has to come up with every event for the family. And if she does not come up with an event, nothing happens. When it comes to family time, she has to come up with the ideas. And she has to come up with what they eat. She has to come up with the time of the day. She has to come up with everything. And he just does not participate. All right. But that is in some cases. But in other cases, you have where it's a man who always wants to spend the time and wants a plan and so on. And the wife just not into going out or getting into some of those social environments. She prefers to stay home, etc. So you have it on both sides. But I seem to think that women are the ones who carry the weight of those family plans. Thank you very much, Charmaine. I will appreciate that. And I would really love to sit in sometime as long as he'll allow me. Kenneth Hodge just says, Chef says, each other's input should be valued. Got you? I with you there, my boy. All right. Another battery charging phrase that happy couples use. You inspire me. You inspire me. Because of you, I want to do this. I get energy to do this. I look forward to doing this. You inspire me. Why? Because the person would have said, you handle that well. The person would have said, I trust your judgment. The person would have said, I'm proud of you. I'm lucky to have you. So eventually you feel inspired. You feel as though it is not too irksome a task to do something for your spouse. Yeah? And that makes sacrifice worth it. There's nothing more uplifting than knowing you've inspired someone to love. So whether it's your work ethic, you love your work ethic. I will go here now and say with Candice, I've always criticized Candice for the way how she's overly dedicated to her job in my mind. But really, deep down, I admire the fact that she's not a lazy person on her job. She does her job and she takes pride in doing what she does, and she will do it with no eyes watching her. I admire that. And so people are inspired by us. People are inspired by you. People are inspired whenever they see the way how you handle things. And we need to say so every so often. All right? So, what is it your husband, your boyfriend, your wife, your girlfriend does that inspires you that you can say to that person, you inspire me in this area. You inspire me. Yeah? So my wife works hard. She goes out of the way for the family. She sacrifices much for the children and the grandchildren. Sometimes I can't keep up with her. And I really go to my next level only because I see how far she's going with them. So she inspires me to put aside some stuff to be able to put for the family, right? Put that time in on the family. So let's talk now, Beaver. Welcome, Candice. All right. So let's talk now. What number are we on? I don't even know what number we're on. I lose track of it. All right. So whether it's work, creativity, kindness, expressions, however the person motivates you, the person must be an inspiration to you in some way to make that emotional connection supported by what the person does. And there are so many people I could think of who inspire me by who they are and what they do. There are so many friends that we have that do that. And so we need to also do that on the outside. Number 8, when sometimes things are hard, rough, your spouse may be studying, doing a degree, a master's, a doctorate. They may be going through a course of training, or they may be doing some task on the job that is very difficult for them. They may be applying for a promotion, whatever it is. Here's one of the inspiring things your spouse usually say and what you should say. You can do it. I know you could do it. I am sure you could do it. I have confidence in you that you can do it. You have the skills already. And that is all you need to go inside of there and win. You can do it. Right? So that is number 8. You can do it. Sometimes that is all someone needs to hear. That you are in their corner and that you have a vote of confidence in their ability. You can do that. You can go up there and give that speech. One of the things my wife usually tells me when I'm going up and give a speech, sometimes when I think that it's difficult and so on, Michael, you could do that, man. You have that in the bag. Yeah, you can do it. So this phrase, they say, is powerful during moments when the person that you are in the relationship with doubt themselves. Because you must believe in them when they don't believe in themselves. So whenever they doubt themselves and their capacity to do something, you must offer that reassurance that they have the strength and they have the ability to succeed. How many of us wish they had a spouse who would pump them on like that? Yes? Isn't that nice? The other thing is, do you pump your spouse on? We want it from other people, but do we give our spouse that? Because for us to be able to get it, we must give it first. So whenever that person is doing something and they wonder, they're going for the driving test, they're scared. You can do this. You have it, man. You could do it. Whatever it is, they're going to a class and they're wondering if they could go to this sewing class or this carpentry class or this painting class or this electronic class. They're trying to get a new skill. You can do it, man. You can do it. I remember when I was doing my degree, it was one of the toughest times that I had. I came to the point that I told myself, man, it doesn't make sense. Might as well give this thing up because it was just running on and running on and running on. It was really irksome. Nights. You have deadlines to submit things, and they say you have to submit it at 11:59 p.m. You have to give it there, and as the hours coming down and the time coming down and so on, you get in at this nervous breakdown. Yes, this anxiety attack. All of those of you who have done university and tertiary level education know what I'm talking about. They would give you this thing to upload at this point in time. That's not an easy thing, and then you tell yourself, and bam, something you had lost on the computer. Sometimes you're in an exam and you're doing the exam and you're doing your calculations. You calculate something wrong, but that which you calculated wrong now upset everything else you did after that. You got to go right back again. That is the beast in statistics and all of those things there. You understand me? Those are the things that make you feel, boy, I sure I'm going to fail. And then you hear somebody tell you, you got this, man. You got this. You can do it. Ain't that nice? Final number 9. Final number 9. If you all have not had somebody tell you these things, I feel for you. And I hope that those who are here who have not said it will start saying it to the people in their lives. Even if they don't tell you, you tell them. Be the bigger one. Don't compete for the bottom. Compete for the top. Number 9. When the person says, thank you for being you. Thank you for being you. You see, because gratitude is what they call quiet power that builds confidence in other people. So there are some qualities in people that you really appreciate that they have. There are some people that are honest, and you can trust their honesty. There are some people that are outspoken. They will tell you exactly what they think about you and how they feel about a decision you make. They will tell you, they are frank. They're not saying it out of hurt or being vindictive. They don't have a vendetta. They're not saying it out of hatred. They are just saying it because they think you need to know. Thank you for being here. When I need a frank opinion, no holds barred, I can always come to you. Sometimes those are the people that we dismiss out of our lives, the people who just want to tell us these things because they are truthful and honest, and they're saying it for our own good. I'm not talking about the people who glad to find some fault with you and tell you about it. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about those who are open. That is out there. That makes you feel valued and make you feel secure and self-assured because this person would tell you as it is. How did you like my singing? And they would say, you sang well, I know you can sing better than that, and you have heard you sing better before, but you did well. Yeah, I value that. You know what time I would preach a sermon? Hey, we bring me partner Lawrence. Lawrence is a man who does really give me that here. Lawrence will tell me, Mike, I like that sermon. You did well and so on. But sometimes he will tell me, Mike, I know you, and I know you could have do better than that one that I hear. Lawrence don't hold back bad. So if I want a good, firm, honest opinion, Lawrence is the man. I ain't seen him on, but all right, I hope he's somewhere around. But those people I value. I value people that would say it in love, but don't mama guy. I heard a girl, I think she was 13 years old, and she sang in her church. And everybody told her she was so good and such a lovely voice, and she could sing in concert and so on. She took that chain up and went into a singing competition, public singing contest. She brought last. The people who were judges says that she is tone deaf. She does not hold notes. She was really terrible. And here's what the girl said. That's the last time she trusts church people to give her an opinion. Because had she known, she would have gone and get help before she entered that competition or not enter the competition at all. Yes? Sometimes we just need to be frank with people. And don't think that we have to mama guy people every time and tell them the things that they want to hear. Right, Josanne. All right. No, Josanne is a teacher. I know that for sure. And I hear she talking about when she was doing her degree, her husband supported her throughout. You're a man, girl. And when he said he admired my work ethic, that I was able to push through. Good support is important. There you go. Big up yourself, man. Dillian, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Yeah? Now, when you hear a woman says this about a man on social media, man head does swell. Well, not that they has to go on social media, because I don't want people to think social media is a place to put it. But to tell somebody else about it, man head does swell. So I'm happy that Josanne mentioned that about Dillian, and I'm happy for those of you who mentioned that about other people. Yes. Yes, Nola, frank, but kind with it. That is what it has to be. Chef, what chef say? How can someone handle a spouse who does not possess the capacity to be sociable and interact with relatives in a family atmosphere? You going on the next topic there, my boy. Let me just see if I could just segue into that quickly. If you have somebody who lacks sociability, and they don't interact with relatives in a family atmosphere, there must be something that causing that. We can't give you a full answer here because we don't have all the information. Sometimes it is that they resent the relatives that are present, or they feel the relatives there don't value them, don't like them, or they themselves may not have social skills. And some of these social skills I am seeing coming up whenever you have a child who's too covered by parents. Don't give them a chance to socialize properly with other people and other people their own age. Where parents cover the child too much, we usually find that by the time they reach a certain age, they don't know how to integrate into people outside of the immediate family, cousins and relatives and so on. We have something, an event tomorrow, and I invited a number of people to it tomorrow, and it is a games lime and so on. We're going to have it at our building tomorrow. It's going to be good. We're going to have sauce and boiled corn and a number of things being sold there tomorrow. So it's going to be real good. And I invited somebody, and the person, how old is this person? About 27 years old. And they said that they really feel uncomfortable in social setting, that they don't think that they'll be able to fit in because there's never feel good. There's always be too self-conscious. So they rather not pass. I said, not even 5 minutes. They said, no, they really have it bad. Yeah, that person was probably covered too much. Michelle Nicholson, my lady. Good to see you in the house. All right. What Lauren say, our courtesy should go to both spouses and to everyone we meet on a daily basis. Yep, that's right. That is right. So you all got all 9. You tell the person thank you for being you. Let me just go quickly over it because people walking in late. So for all of those late bloomers, let me go and just give it, rush it through, and then we are gone. Number 1, happy couples say certain things regularly to each other. They're not afraid to say. Sometimes they're saying it in front of people and all. I trust your judgment is one of them. So they allow the person to make the decision, and they prepare to go along with whatever decision. And these couples, by the way, even if the decision was not a good decision, they are also okay with it. It isn't to say, you see, I tell you, I trust your judgment, and look how you mess up things. They're not into that. They are prepared to also go through and endure whatever results and consequences of that bad decision. They trust the decision. Not every decision that you make is going to be good, but they trust you that you will make a wise decision. One of the things I trust my wife with is making decisions is with money. She makes better decisions with money than I do. So it is easy for me to hand over money to my wife than for me to keep it. You see, I trust her judgment. In fact, when you give her money for her to spend on herself, I don't trust her judgment on that. She spends it back on the family. And even if they say, no, spend it on you. That is the part I don't trust her judgment on. But anyway, as we move on. 2, you're so good at. That's one of the things that you say. You're so good at. And just identify what the person is good at doing. Are they operating calm under pressure? Are they good at problem solving? Are they good at some skill? 3, I'm proud of you. That says something about from your heart. That's how you feel about the person. It builds your self-esteem. Children love to hear that. 4, I'm so lucky to have you in my life. When your spouse say that, that means that, hey, you are ahead of the competition. The person is happy to have selected you. The person is happy to have you inside of their life. And that's a good space to be. Number 5, what do you think? It says my opinion is valued. And the person wants the opinion. But there are times that you need to make the opinion yourself. If it is her birthday, make the decision, man. Of course, ask her what she thinks, yes, and incorporate that into what you think, so that something will come from you. You handle that well. Is also another thing that you could say. So if the person did something that you felt that they navigated through something that was tricky, a conversation, a stressful experience, hey, boy, I tell you, you really handled that well, boy. You handled that situation. You brought that into control. You inspire me is the other one. Number 7, you inspire me. Let the person know that you light up their life. Number 8, you can do this. I know you can. And number 9, thank you for being you. Okay, my people. That's it. Brings us down to the end of the program today. I am really sorry that we had a late start, and I'm really sorry about the people on YouTube tonight because we could not broadcast simulcast on YouTube. So, hope you forgive me. Myrtle McKnight, yes, good evening to you. Hodge, you'll tell me. You said keep you in your prayers. I shall, but if there's something going on, feel free to message me. And let me lift you up in prayers to God. Ryan Londa, this is Philippine in the house. Wow. Good evening to you. Have a blessed evening to you, Ryan. I have been visiting you on your Facebook, and I appreciate the sessions that you are doing online. All right. Sandra Lam, good evening. I want to make sure I acknowledge everybody that came on, even though you came on late. All right. Welcome, Cheryl, Harley Quinn. Appreciate that. All right, my people. We will see you next week, Thursday. So, by then, we would be able to get whatever problem that we're experiencing sorted out. I am Michael Stewart, and this is Mike at Night. Have a wonderful day now. Love you all. God bless. Ciao.